What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I feel like this is like too far away. I don't know. Parkhurst, welcome. Jordan, how we doing? Hope you guys had a good day. Got my classic sparkling water. What's up, Autumn? What's up, Noah? Chris, how's it going? Ian, welcome. Sparkling water is definitely like a weakness I have. It's not just like one type of sparkling water either. It's like constantly mixing it up. Always mixing up the flavors. I like the Splendrifts. These are pretty solid. The Sololi, I think this is like a Safeway maybe type brand. And there's like 7 flavors. There's this cucumber one that's bomb. But anyway, Mia, what's up, Lisa? Nara, how you doing? Jack, how's it going? Mia, what's up?
Hi.
So this is what it's like is this, I assume, your room?
Yeah.
Okay. This is literally looks very similar to my sister's room when she was in high school. All the pictures of her friends on the wall. No Georgia thing, but the pictures, those are assumed pictures of your friends and family on the wall?
Yeah, there's a lot.
It looks like it. I'm turning off commenting, guys. So we can focus. Yeah, it looks like it. Am I on the wall? Did I make the wall?
No, Matt, you did not make the wall.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not making your wall. How you doing?
I'm good.
Are those your school glasses?
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know you wore glasses. You look very professional.
I don't wear them when I train with you, so.
That's true. You look very professional.
That was cool.
Look very astute. Okay, we'll wait a couple more minutes, wait some more people to come in. How was your evening? Did you eat dinner yet?
No, I did not eat dinner yet. I ate a late lunch, so I'm not that hungry.
Got it. I don't know if you caught it, but I was just talking about my fascination with sparkling water. Do you like sparkling water?
I drink like LaCroix, but I'm not like into like sparkling water that much.
Got it. What's your favorite flavor?
I don't know.
Just whatever?
Yeah, whatever's fine with me.
Okay, don't discriminate. Yeah, I go through phases. I'm like, all right, I gotta have that one for like a couple weeks, and then I gotta mix it up. Thankfully, there's like 70 different sparkling water manufacturers now.
Really? I just drink LaCroix, so I don't even know.
Bubbly, LaCroix, Splendrift, Solil. I'm sure there's more than that. There's just one in Texas that's really good. Sweetwater or something.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, let's start it up. First off, thanks for coming on. This is something I'm really looking forward to. For those who've come watch weekly, basically I'm trying to give information, insights to players, to like basically give them knowledge that I wish I had. And I thought you were a perfect candidate because I know you come into Georgia, and that's awesome. So congratulations to that. And obviously we work with a ton of middle school and high school kids, and so I think kind of like going through the process of how that happened, because I was like, Georgia, that's kind of, it's not like going to like San Jose State, or Santa Cruz or something. It's like Georgia. So like obviously there was a lot of thought there, and it was a process. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Okay. So first and foremost, how did you decide on Georgia?
So when I first started like putting together like a list of schools, like what I wanted in schools, I honestly didn't think of Georgia. I was thinking like schools like closer to here, like Oregon and stuff like that.
What were the things that were important to you when you were deciding?
So that's how I like in like 5th or 6th grade, which is like super early, I sat down with my parents and we put together like a list of like what I want in a school, like besides like away from soccer, like if I were to go to a college, what I want in a school. So obviously my opinion is gonna be very different from other people that are probably watching. So I wanted a really big school, like Power 5 conference, like big school with big athletics. I didn't really care about the weather, to be honest. Just wasn't something that bothered me. I wanted to be out of California, though. I wanted to go far, far away. My family has like a strong history with like football, so I wanted a big football school, and clearly I picked a big football school. So that drew me to like ACC, SEC. And then when I was younger, I already knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay around athletics. So I wanted to pick a school that had majors surrounding like athletics, so like sports management, sports science. So I'm going to pick sports management as my major. So I put that like factor list together, and then I made this huge list of all these schools that checked either one to all of the boxes or one. So I had like 15 or 20 schools when I first started making my list. And I had like Wisconsin, Michigan, Oregon, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Auburn, Clemson, Montana, Tennessee. Like I had a big list. And then once I got older,
What's older? Like how old are we talking?
like freshman year, probably like 8th grade to freshman year. Like when I started like to mature as like a person and a player, I like decided to focus more on like I want to say like more like as me as a person and what I more wanted, and then what I was as a player. Clearly, I was still improving, but like at that point, like the kind of player I was kind of like more defined. So like I wanted a quality soccer program with like a good, welcoming staff that focused on player development, and then like an athletics program that like was committed to the program, and then obviously a good team. And so then that's when I picked like a top 5. I picked like 5 schools to focus on, so I go to ID camps and like be like more committed to be more invested in them. And that was around like freshman year, I think.
So you made a list, and it was big school, massive school outside of California,
Yeah.
big soccer program.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically narrowed the search down. Like you obviously want to make sure there's your major, whatever field you want to study was in there. But then you started to narrow the search about like making sure it was a good fit as far as like player development goes.
Yeah.
A good soccer school as well.
Yeah.
And then, so now you have those 5 schools. And so
Yeah.
now, did you go to what were those 5 schools? Did you like, what was the process at that point?
So the top 5 schools I had were Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, Clemson, and Montana.
How about like academically? Like, did you think about like, all right, what percentage chance you had to get into these places, or like, did you have a reach school, a safety school in between?
Well, in terms of like those 5 schools, academic wise, they're all basically the same. So like getting into them, like as an athlete, wouldn't be that difficult, because as an athlete, I was told, at least for Georgia, that you just had to pass NCAA requirements, which is not that high, like an Ivy League high. So none of them were like necessarily reaches for me, because I wanted, because I was like really determined to go there. So like I didn't see them as any of them as reaches. I was really determined for that. But academically, I kept my grades up in case I needed to like have a good GPA or good SAT, because honestly, you never know if you like need to, like when you need to actually apply to the school, you need to actually be able to get in. So keeping my academics up, no matter what the acceptance rate or how high academically, I just kept them up, because you never know.
Before you chose those 5 schools, how do you start reaching out? What other stuff were you doing? So like, were you reaching out to these schools already before you started? You narrowed the list of 5. When did you start reaching out to schools? Like, yeah. So when did that happen?
So when the DA for the girls first started, I reached out.
What year were you? When were you? How old were you? That freshman year?
I want to say 8th grade.
Okay.
I want to say like 8th grade, freshman year. So I basically emailed like that big list of schools, because I hadn't narrowed it down yet. I emailed all of them, and I like basically put in like I was like, here are like my games, what time they're at, what field they're at, and who I'm playing
For
against.
showcases.
Yes, for my
that you knew that they were attending.
Yeah. You get the list from the event or showcase or tournament that you're attending, and you see what schools are registered to attend, and you email those schools and say, I'm playing this team, this field, and this time, so that they know where to go, who you're playing. And you need to like put a little bit of information about yourself and why you're interested in that school, so that they don't think it's just a generic email, and that to show like you're actually like interested in them and that they should come watch you. So I sent that to like everyone, and some schools came, some schools didn't come to my showcase, to my games. And the ones that did, I would follow up with them, and I was like, oh, thank you for coming. Like, I hope to see you again sometimes. I hope to attend your ID camps. So the schools that did come, I tried to call them because at the time the rules were different about recruiting. I could contact them much sooner than you can now, so my process was much earlier than most people. So I called schools that came, and it's important that you call them to like create a personal relationship with them, to like get like a one-on-one conversation, like to like talk about like who you are, like why you're interested, learn more about their program and stuff. So I called like most of them, and one of them of course was Georgia. And from there, I went to ID camps, and I kept in contact with all of them, and then some of them went further and some of them just fizzled out.
Got it. So basically, you put yourself in a situation to be seen. So you went to these showcases. You reached out to them consistently, gave them all the information, made it like personalized, so they weren't just a number, and then you could follow it up with them, and then you continued to reach out to them, and then you went and to their ID camps, to the ones you were serious about. So it wasn't like just like showing up to a tournament like, oh, I hope they watch me. It's like, no, it's like here's you help the coaches make it easier, and you show them that you're interested by reaching out to them, and then sending them personalized message, and you're reaching out to them, and doing it consistently. I think that's huge. That's awesome. Okay. I like that. So what about players maybe so you were in DA, now DA is no more, now you're in the ECNL.
Yep.
Was that a major thing for you? Like, I had to be in the DA because that's where the top players were? What was your...
Yeah, so for me, it was really important that that I was able to be at the highest level, and be able to play the best competition. And obviously, I kind of knew that coaches would be drawn to the highest level. So at that time, my Thorns team was doing really well when I was like getting highly recruited by coaches. So we were playing like really good teams, like 80 to 90 coaches would come to our games. So it was important for me to make the DA team, to know that I would have a higher possibility to get recruited. Not saying that someone that's not on the high ECNL team or on a DA team couldn't make it, but for me, it was just an easier pathway.
Got it. When you were on the DA team, 7th, 8th grade, whatever, were you playing, like, were you the star on the team? Like, how would you define your...
Well, I wasn't at Thorns originally. I was at PSV Union, and they dropped out of the DA, and my parents and I made the decision. Well, when I was on that team, I played every game, all game, but like they weren't at like the highest level of like in like ranks and stuff. So we weren't playing like the highest level teams. So when they dropped out, my parents and I made a decision to go to Thorns, and I made it onto Lloyd's team, and it took me a while to like get started and like get starting time, playing time, and now you can ask Lloyd about my position on the team and my playing time, because I don't want to say anything and he say that.
How about back then? I'm talking about back then, like 8th grade, 9th grade. Like when you first joined the team, were you getting a lot of playing time or not really, or what?
At Thorns?
Yeah.
Oh, when I first joined, definitely not. Like, because there was girls ahead of me, and I was a new girl, and I still was improving a lot, and I still needed to fit into Lloyd's team. So I was splitting time with this other girl that was playing my position, but I wasn't like the star player getting any playing time. But I put in work and got to where I am today.
Got it. Well, good work, because work paid off, obviously. We're not done yet, though. You're not done yet. Real quick, I think point for players that's important is that Mia was just said, right? She was playing full minutes on the team she was with, but then she realized what her goal was of playing a high-level Division I soccer, and so she made the choice to play on a higher-level team, knowing she wasn't going to get as much time initially. But then she worked and grinded and, persisted. And yeah, now she's committed to Georgia.
I can also add, when I was in like early middle school, like before the DA started, I was terrible. Like I was really bad. And I realized like when I like realized that I could play Division I soccer and that's something I wanted to do, I was like, I need to like work hard. Like I need to like put work in. Like so like worked hard every single day. And that's how I even got, because when I first came to my old club, I got 0 playing time, even less than I when I came to Thorns. So I put in more work and I got playing time on that team, and then so I've always kind of been like coming from the bottom up, so I've kind of been used to working harder, but I think even if you're at the top, you still need to work to stay at the top. So I think hard work is extremely important, because coming from someone who is probably one of the worst players on planet Earth, it's important to like work hard, because you can make it to the top even if you're not as good as everyone else around you.
Got it. Okay, I agree with that for sure. How about this? Now, since you're committed to Georgia, you're just like foot off the gas pedal, right? You're just cruising, right?
I think it's actually maybe even more so important to like keep your improvement, because the college level is very, very different than the youth level. It's stronger, faster, more mature, and so the coach, if you commit, your coach is recruiting you based on who you are as a player right now, but also the chance that you will improve to get to the level they want you to be at. So working even harder, getting stronger, faster, smarter at the game is very important, because you can't go into college at the level you are right now, because you'll get destroyed and you won't see the field. So if you want to actually play in college, you need to keep improving in order to get to that level. So I've probably been putting in more work than probably ever to try and get to that level.
And I mean, as you go up, the difference becomes smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put as much work as you can in to make up that difference. Yeah. I think that's a huge point, though, because I think so many players, I've coached so many players, I've played with so many players, that there's like 2 mindsets, I feel. There's a mindset of like, oh, I've made it. I'm a college soccer player, or I'm on the academy team, or whatever. And they have a mindset, I made it. The players with those mindsets aren't the players that are they're going to fan out. The players that continue to, I want to be as good as I possibly can be, always trying to improve every day, those are the players that you see in the long run succeeding. Because I just know, I hear it all the time. I ask players, what do you want? What's your goal of soccer? I want to play college soccer. Like, okay, but like, what happens when you get to college?
Yeah.
Or I want to play D1 soccer. It's like, what, like, that's, you got to think about that more. It's not just I want to play D1. I want to play as high level as I possibly can play. I think is a better answer. If you want in D1, yeah, it's the highest level collegiately in this country. But there's a lot of good other D division schools. So anyway, I think, again, don't focus on like I got recruited to play soccer. Focus on what Mia just said. I want to be as good as I possibly can. I need to put work in consistently. Okay, so let's go back to your recruiting process. Did you have a highlight tape?
No.
No.
So as I went to ID camps, the coaches would tell me, oh, like maybe you should make a highlight tape, maybe you should like send us game film, and I never made a single highlight tape or sent any game film to any coach.
But they watched you play games, and you went to their ID camp.
So if they haven't seen you play a game, or like never seen you play, you probably should send them game film. But if they've seen you in ID camp or seen you play a game, I don't think it's necessary, since they've seen what you can do in real life, which is probably better than game film. But yeah, I've never sent a highlight reel.
Do you have a website? Do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
Are you embarrassed about it a little bit?
Well, I didn't. Once I committed, I didn't need it as much, but I still like kept it up and everything, like just in case.
What's on there?
I don't know. It was like updated like a couple weeks ago, because the guy that made it asked me for like new pictures and everything, and I was like, I haven't seen it since. But I've had, so for like social media and stuff, I have like obviously Instagram, Snapchat, but that's more for like personal stuff.
Real quick though, back to the website. What's on the website?
For a website. Okay, so it says like an about me, like me as a person, like how I got to like Thorns, and like not really about me as a player, but as a person. And then there's like contact information, there's bunch of photos. There's like about like my team and like our like record and stuff, and like some of like the awards I've gotten from playing games I've included on there. I don't even know what they are, honestly. I couldn't even tell you. And
so accolades, accomplishments, background.
Yeah, like accomplishments. And then
no video?
There aren't any videos. So it's just like an about me, basically. It's about like our team, like my coach, like about like my coaches, like how I've gone to this point, like what my ambitions are. It's not, there's no like video on it. Just like a contact, like I don't think I never made a video, so there's no videos on there. But it's more just like contact information.
What did you use it for? Like when you emailed college coaches, did you say, oh, here's my website too?
Yeah, so when I wasn't committed, I had it in my bio on Instagram, so that if coaches like looked at my name on Instagram, they could find it from there. And then when I emailed them, I put it in there in case they wanted to like learn more about me and stuff like that, instead of me having to send like a whole like narrative in my email. It was just an easier way for them to like see like more about me, my family, and like my background. And like, because being recruited isn't just about soccer, it's also about if you fit in with them as like a person. So that's also very important for them to get to know you, because you can't just go for soccer, because what if they don't like you as a person and they don't think you fit in with their team? So
got it.
Yeah.
Did you use a recruiting website at all?
No, I did not. Okay.
And in social media, did you use that at all to help you get recruited?
Yeah. So I use I have Instagram, Snapchat, but I don't really use that for like soccer stuff. I'll like post like pictures and stuff, but like not as much like recruit me kind of things. But I put when I was doing recruiting, I put the website in my bio, so if someone looked me up, they could do that. And then certain teams followed me at the time. And then I had a Facebook account, but I don't think I ever touched that because I don't know how to use Facebook. I had a Twitter account, which was mostly for me to follow coaches and teams to see like what they're doing and like what they're up to, and then they could follow me. And then for Twitter, it was mostly about talking about like our game schedules, what if we won, like where we're playing, or like what's going on with like my team and myself, which is mostly the stuff that coaches could easily see because most of them are on Twitter. But if you don't want to use Twitter, that's fine. And then obviously email and phone call is probably the most important basic things you need to be doing. Did
you get any responses from any college coaches? Like, oh yeah, I'm following your Twitter and thanks for that. Or, oh yeah, I went to your website. Did they acknowledge any of this?
So my website is programmed to where if a school looks at it, if Wisconsin looks at my website, I can see that. So like it's programmed to do that. Apparently, I found that out when I didn't even know that. But so I didn't really need to like say like, oh, you saw my website, or like Twitter. Like for Twitter, I saw that they followed me and they didn't really like follow up on that. But for the website, I could see all the schools that like looked at it. So that was kind of helpful to see like who was like more like interested in me, I guess.
Sounds like a lot of work. Do you feel like it was a lot of work?
It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of work.
I think it's fair. I think that's completely fair. I think that's something that people don't realize. Like it's a two-way street for sure, but it's unless you're a national team player or something, it's not just going to come to you. You got to go and like reach out to people.
Yeah, and like they're not going to come to you. You have to show interest in them before they show interest in you. You have to show that you're like committed to on your school, because like it's for me, since I lived in California and I'm going to Georgia, and I'm like one of the there's two girls that are going to me and some other girl going to Georgia from California. But if you live so far away, especially, you have to show that you're willing to move so far away from home to go to this school, and that you really want to do it, because they're not going to they don't want to put effort in you and you not put effort in them, kind of thing. It's
a relationship. It's a two-way street. And I think doing all that work, I know it takes time, but like as a coach, like you're thinking, wow, this person's super committed. And they're they're serious. It's not like somebody I'm going to recruit and they're going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to give up. Like, no, they put so much work and effort in. Like you can tell their mentality's there.
Yeah.
I think that's so huge. It's just it's not going to come to you. You got to go out and make it happen. And I think it's even more critical, honestly, for the Division III schools,
Yeah.
Why? Because Division I schools, they have a bigger budget. There's more players that are interested in them.
Yeah.
So they can kind of like pick and choose a little bit more, like pick and choose. If you're a Division III coach, smaller budget, so you can't travel as much. There's not going to be typically as many players that are interested in playing. They're going to be like reaching out to that level. But I think D3 is a great option. D2 is a great option. And I think like at any level, if you want to play college soccer, if you're serious about it, I think putting in work like you did makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because honestly, whether it's D3, D2, or D1, if you love the school and you love the staff and you can play there, I think it's a good option for you. It could matter to you, but there is a D2 school that I love the coaches, and it was a place that I could see myself going, and I showed interest in them, and I said, I'm interested, but I'm not going to commit, But the worst part for me was to tell the coach, some of the other coaches that I was talking to, that I committed. Like, it was very sad. I cried most of the time. I was really sad.
Yeah, because you developed a relationship with them.
Yeah.
You like let them on, and then all of a sudden you break their heart.
Yeah, this one coach that I was really close to, I called him like the day I committed to Georgia, and I was like crying. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, it was really sad. I was like in the parking lot, like bawling my eyes out.
No, I believe it. I mean, it's, again, yeah, you've developed a relationship with those people.
Yeah.
But that's part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this is absolutely awesome, Mia. So real quick, to recap, how did you pick Georgia? First, you started, you go first. So how did you pick Georgia?
Okay, once I got through that whole stage of like thinning out my schools, I went to Georgia probably more than any of the other schools. They're in my top 5 list.
So you went and visited a couple times.
Yeah, so I did an unofficial visit when I was a freshman, and that's when I started to like realize that I love the school, like the facilities, the people I'd be working with. I just loved everything about it. And so, but clearly, like, an unofficial visit when you're a freshman doesn't mean you're going to commit there. So I still had to like go to other ID camps, but I went to like 3 or 4 ID camps at Georgia, to like make sure they kept seeing me like more like intensely, besides in a big game. And they kept coming to watch me play in showcases. I kept calling them, emailing them. So like I kept that connection. I built a relationship with them. And then after my team went to playoffs last summer, they invited me to an overnight camp with a bunch of like 100 girls, but then like their recruiting class, or the people that they wanted to recruit, came as well in like a special group. So I went to that, and that was like kind of like the defining moment, like whether I was gonna like go there or not. Like I had to like perform, because my official visit was like the next week. So I went on my official visit, and I was with like the girls that were already committed and those that were being recruited. And the head coach offered me a spot on that weekend, and my parents were like, "Are you sure you don't want to like wait, or like do you want to like be patient and like see other options?" And I said, "No, like this is the place I want to go." Like it's like it was a gut feeling for me that I had to go to Georgia, like it was my dream school.
Got it. Very cool. So for recapping for the players that are like middle school or high school, first and foremost is like create a list on things that are important to you in college. So like you decided big school, away from California, big football program. And then you start to narrow the list, right? You talked about academics were huge. You wanted to go to school that had a good academic programs like sports medicine. And then you started talking about how the environment was good, meaning like the team and the support staff was good. And then you narrowed your search there. And then once you narrowed your search, then you started contacting and developing a relationship with these people. Yeah. So relationships through like just calling them, emailing, anything that you can do. And then making sure that also they see you. So you didn't have a highlight tape, you didn't need to, since you were playing at ECNL, DA level, and they came to your games and you went to their camps. Yeah. And then you continued to have a relationship with them, which is obviously a lot of work. And then eventually, you made your decision. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, it's there. It's there to be had for players that want to play at the next level. I think so many players, they don't know if they want to play, or they're just like, I don't know, like they don't know. But it's one of those things, if you want to play, there's options available, but it's going to take work. It's not just going to come to you.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to finish with? Any like recommendations you give to like seventh graders or eighth graders maybe that are like, maybe how about a recommendation to somebody that doesn't know if they want to play college soccer? Like, how did you make that determination? Or
I kind of knew, like, I wanted to be an athlete in college, and soccer is like the sport that I picked. I was deciding between basketball and soccer, and honestly, it doesn't have to be soccer. It can be another sport, but it just, if you want to be an athlete and you want to be a part of that lifestyle, I think that's something you have to decide for yourself. For me, I always knew I wanted to be an athlete, so I was very determined to make that happen. But it has to be something that you love to do, and seems that not something you're like forced into. If you love to play the sport you play, especially if it's soccer, then you have to be able to put the work in, because it's not just going to be handed to you.
Got it. How about any advice you'd give to somebody that like they want to play college soccer? What should they do? What are the steps? Anything? I guess we kind of went through the steps. Anything specific though? That is it just like anything piece of advice? Like maybe like, hey, it's worth the work.
Okay. So for me, I think most players depend on practice and games, as that's what it's going to take, and that's not even, you have to put in so much work outside of practice. Like for me, I probably go, when we're in season, I'll go on like runs in the morning, like either a couple miles, intervals, sprints, that kind of stuff, and then some technical work in the morning, and then especially on off days I'll do that. And then off season it's a lot more work, like fitness twice a day, then an hour to 2 hour soccer based workout. So it takes a lot more than the practices that are scheduled for you, because it takes a lot more work and determination to be better than other people to get to a school you want to go to. Because there's probably like thousands of people that want to go to the school that you want to go to, because you can see that when people go to ID camps. But you have to be able to work harder and be determined to be better than those people. You have to put in way more work than just practice, because that's the only thing I see most is people that just go to practice and that's it, and then they're done thinking that that's it, and that's far from it. That's probably my advice.
Got it. Well, Mia, thank you so much. I think this has been super valuable to the players. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Matt.
No problem, me. Keep grinding, and we'll keep getting after it. All right?
I'll see you on Friday.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.